Hey there, beautiful souls. Welcome back to another episode of Inner Peace, Better Health, the podcast where we explore the mindsets, stories, and the strategies that help us lead more intentional and empowered lives. Now, this was something for you, dear listeners. If you're a parent or a homeschooler or an entrepreneur, that you are going to love today's conversation because what happens when you blend fierce love for your child, a deep passion for the education, and also a bold entrepreneurial spirit, you get something or someone like guest today, Jessica Decaillon. So, welcome to the show, Jessica.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Lovely, lovely. So, Jessica, like before we start, I'll quickly love to introduce you to all of our listeners. Dear listeners, Jessica is the visionary founder of Wonderspark Learning, an online community that's reimagining how kids engage with the language, STEM, and creativity. So, she teaches Mandarin Chinese and runs hands on immersive classes that uh, don't just fill minds, but they ignite them. But that's not all. She is also a homeschooling mom, balancing family life and business while navigating a world that feels anything but calm. So her story is one of the courage, creativity, and a deep belief in children's potential. So whether you are a parent wondering if you are doing enough, a homeschooler figuring things out on the fly, or a business owner building something from your kitchen table, then this episode is for you. So I'll not take much of your time. Let's get into it. So welcome to the show again.
Thank you. Thank you. That was a great introduction.
Thank you so much, yeah, Jessica. So, Jessica, to start with, what inspired you to start Wonderspark Learning, and how did your journey as a homeschool mom shape that decision?
So, thank you for the very thorough introduction. So, I went to a traditional school, and homeschool was not something that was on my radar up until the COVID when COVID started, when her school closed and we have to figure out a solution. So while she was home, I was doing Montessori style education with her. She was around 5 or 6, my daughter.
Okay.
And she's 10 now, and it just feels like something that I really enjoy. Being a teacher, educating the young minds, and of course, spending time with my family, my daughter. And that just was something that I discovered along the way I really enjoy. And I thought, okay, if I enjoy teaching her, maybe I would also enjoy teaching other kids. So I seek out opportunities to work with other organizations, and gradually I opened my own online learning community that centers on hands-on STEM and language learning. And like you mentioned, we have Mandarin Chinese right now. We're
Mm.
expanding to Spanish and French, and we're to keep the class small and fun for young learners.
Wow, amazing! That's really amazing. Yeah. And was there a specific moment with your daughter that made you realize that I want to create something bigger, not just for us, but for other families as well? So yeah.
So as I was watching her, enjoying her hands-on learning, her homeschooling journey, it really inspired me to um, spread that. So we did a lot of hands-on learning. We started with the Montessori teaching style,
Mm.
and just watching her building her confidence, perseverance, while she developing her scale, just really inspired me to think like, okay, I think if she enjoys it, I'm sure other kids would enjoy this education journey as well. So, and it's a learning process for me as well. And I think teaching, like learning, it's a process of
Mm.
testing to see what works, what didn't work, and how we as educators can do better. And the really cool thing about homeschooling and having a very small classroom in my business is that we can really get to know the children. And I think the power in homeschooling and a very small classroom is the ability for teachers to really get to know the kids.
Understood. So, I mean, I love that. I mean, how purpose can grow from something so personal. So many of the most powerful businesses are born out of the real life need and the love. So that's very true. Yeah. And homeschooling can be both magical and the messy sometimes, right? So, what have been some of the biggest uh, surprises or the lessons you have learned from homeschooling your daughter?
Mhm. So I grew up in a traditional school environment. I went to public school. So the traditional school environment is the teachers speak, and then we try to be like a sponge and try to soak up all the knowledge. And I think the part about homeschooling, and we think that learning is linear. We go from first grade, second grade, third grade, and we pass all the tests and call it a day, right? But I think that humans learn in more like we all learn in different pace, different method. Each child is learning so differently, and it's like sometimes it's like a spiral. We have to go very slowly, and sometimes the children really progress really fast, and sometimes we hit a point and then we have to come back. So I think for me, just having the patience to really tailor
Hmm.
the learning to each child and then really get to know them, and it's very energy consuming because you are essentially not only a teacher in the sense of you are passing the knowledge, but you're it's also there is also an element of emotional labor, right? So, and I think that's why being a teacher, it's quite something. It's quite a hard job because it's not just a job that you clock in, but it's really you have to invest your emotion and energy and love into your
Yeah.
into your job.
Yes, 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 yes. So, and also on this, like, how do you navigate the pressure of being both mom and the teacher, and like still maintain your relationship?
Yeah, so I think that there are days where school moves easily, where everything goes smoothly, but there are some days it's really hard, like a Monday
Hmm.
after a weekend of birthday parties and rest to get back to the rhythm of homeschooling on a Monday feels really difficult. So this morning I woke up to so many emails and I was like, oh, I have an interview with you, which I look forward to. I also have sessions I have to teach, and I have to homeschool. And so I told myself, the emails can wait if it's not urgent. So I need to tell myself to have inner peace, right? I have to
Yeah.
tell myself that sometimes it's okay to spring in one aspect of your life and then just not neglect, but be more relaxed on other aspects because we can't do everything all at once. And if we burn out, then our family will burn out. So we have to know that when to prioritize something.
Hmm.
So today I just tell myself, I'm gonna take one step at a time. I'm gonna do one thing at a time. And so far, it's 11 a.m. in Michigan, and I have to say I feel much more relaxed. 'Cause so far, I'm just doing one thing at a time, and it's a successful Monday.
Yeah, correct. Lovely. That's amazing. I mean, yeah. And I think so many parents are craving in that balance within guiding their kids while still letting them be kids also. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you teach Mandarin and STEM, two subjects often seem as difficult or kind of what to say, intimidating. So, for the kids, but your classes are known for being the fun and immersive. So, how do you make learning feel like an adventure?
So I think the challenge for educators nowadays is we are competing with social media platform, video games. Uh, kids' attention is so different than let's say 5, 10 years ago. So it would be impossible for me to conduct a 30-minute lesson and require them to listen and sit still for 30 minutes. So our classes, we always try to incorporate a lot of communication. So there's a lot of back and forth, and we try to incorporate hands-on learning where they are engaged. And we're trying to keep our class challenging, but not to a point where kids feel really defeated. Because I think learning needs to be challenging for sure, but they also needs to feel like need to feel good about themselves
Yeah.
at the end of the day. And I think manageable challenge is a key to keep your lesson engaging, because like this intrinsic motivation comes from, in my opinion, it comes from um, doing something that you really love, but then you're feeling
Sure.
challenged and you're growing with the subject that you're learning.
Ah, yeah, yeah, that's it. That's true. That's true. Definitely. Yeah, yeah. And do you think that traditional education still misses that mark when it comes to keeping curiosity alive?
Would you repeat that question?
Yeah, I'm saying like sometimes, I mean, what according to you, do you think that traditional education sometimes still misses the mark when it comes to that keeping curiosity alive?
Okay, so I think that every country is really different, and I wonder what the education system is like in India. But I received my elementary up till middle school education in China. So if you know about the Chinese education system, it's very rigorous when it comes to foundational knowledge, very strict and rigorous. And when I attended high school in the United States, it's the opposite end, right? There's a lot of freedom to explore and be yourself, and it's the opposite of the Chinese. So it was a really cultural shock. And I think for me, I get the taste of both public education system, and I think both education system have its strengths. And I try to learn and take the good part of both system and combine in our own business and home education. And I think the challenge for teacher, and I'm just talking specifically in general, is that the when you have a large classroom size,
Yeah,
your energy is so limited, your resource is so limited, and it's not so much of the teacher. It's not teacher's fault. It's just how the system is designed, where the personalization is impossible to too difficult to achieve. Um,
yeah,
so I think um, you know, if in my ideal world, I think that if we can have for public education, if we have a smaller classroom size, that teacher gets more support, then maybe there will be more opportunity for teacher to spark their curiosity in the students. But I think there's a lot of a wonderful teacher out there, even with the limited resources they have, they're still doing an amazing job in, educating the next generation of students. So,
yeah, yeah. Understood. So, like, I mean, that exactly. The curiosity is like a spark, and when it's nurtured the right way, kids want to learn. That's such a powerful shift, definitely. And along with this, I mean, let's talk about parenting in the today's world because you have said before that we are raising kids in a not so calm environment. So, how do you help your daughter? I mean, and your students also build the emotional resilience and the confidence.
thank you. First of all, my daughter is 10 and she's
Yeah.
sorry, my dog is
Yeah.
barking in the background. Can you hear?
Nice. Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry about that. Give me one second.
So they are also learning.
Yeah, she's very vocal. Both of my dog baby and my human
Yeah.
baby, they're very vocal. I'm going to take care of that. Give me 30 seconds.
Sure. Sure.
So when homeschooling, there's a unique opportunity for us to really get to, I mean, I get to know my daughter. This is my daughter, but when we are one-on-one, I really can get to know what she's good at, what's her strengths and her weakness. And we're trying to cultivate her based on her strengths. And, she is very artistic and she might not necessarily be a math person. So we do our basic foundational math stuff, but we're trying to cultivate the artistic aspect of her. That's what she's interested in right now. I think that's a pillar number one, is to really find what they're good at and what they love to do. And I think the second pillar is that I think nowadays kids just have so much um, um, exposure to social media and different content that they are not ready to handle. So we have a very strict screen time policy at home. So she is allowed to watch educational content, of course, but on a limited amount of time. And I'm trying to cultivate more in person. Face-to-face interaction with other friends, extracurriculum activities, and then trying to have a community where she can learn and grow together. And I think once she have this inner way, like if she knows what she's good at and she have a community she can lean on, I think those are really two very important pillar to have a very strong raising a mentally strong child.
Exactly. Exactly true. So, and what do you think? I mean, what role do you think mindfulness or emotional intelligence plays in the early education?
So my husband and I are both we used to be more disciplined in terms of meditating and our own spiritual practice. And I know it's
Okay.
and I know it sounds like an excuse, but just life sometimes just throw you off your rhythm. But
Mm,
we talk a lot about our conversation are fairly open and free in our family, and we try to explain to our daughter to the best of ability to kids appropriate level any questions she have, whether it's regarding some very heavy subject like death or business or even silly stuff. But we don't try to dumb down our answer. We try to explain to her to the level that she can understand. And I think being a parent is a spiritual journey because we are essentially reparenting ourselves in the process of parenting our child. And I'm healing my own inner child
mm,
in this process of being a mother. And I can see that my husband and our relationship are also growing because we're in this together. So we spirituality is a huge part in our family. And we're intended on, and I think it's a huge part of our education, her education as well. Because essentially we are I don't think finding ourselves is the right term. I think essentially we are all just trying to for me, I think I'm just trying to get to know myself more. And I think for my daughter, I think she already know who she is, and I hope that she getting to know herself even more and more.
mm. Understood. Understood. So, like, I mean, that's really something I wish we all learned earlier. I mean, how to regulate the emotions, how to stay grounded when the world isn't. It's incredible that you are planting those seeds so young. So that's amazing. So, what advice would you give to the other moms or parents who feel like they are just doing too much, but uh, still feel like it's not enough?
I think that most parents
Hmm,
wonder. I mean, at least for me, I wonder like, am I doing enough for my child?
hmm,
And I think if you're asking this question, that means you are really evaluating it. You're really evaluating your effort as being a parent. And I think if you have that question in mind, then that means you're a very conscientious, mindful parent. Some days we might have to work harder to um be the type of parent we want. But some days I think we can lay back and enjoy. And I think another aspect that's really important is to have
hmm,
supportive partner, whether it's your spouse or someone that you trust. It can be anyone, but I think it's really important for parents to have a community, a person, at least one person they can speak to
Yeah.
about stuff like that. And I think parenting isolation is really stressful. And for me in 2025, I want to, find I want to expand my community and build my community and talk to people more in a genuine and heartfelt way.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect, perfect, lovely. And lovely. That's amazing. I mean, Jessica, thank you so much for your wisdom, your warmth, and for the work that you are doing in the world. I mean, from sparking curiosity in the kids to modeling courage for parents, your journey is definitely truly inspiring. And for all the listeners, whether you are navigating homeschooling or launching a dream project or simply trying to show up as the best parent you can be, then know this: you don't have to do it perfectly. You just have to do it. If you want to connect with Jessica or explore Wonderspark Learning, then check her out online and you won't regret it. And Jessica, like, which is the best medium for people to connect with you?
You can find my info on wondersparklearning.com. That's my website for my business.
Okay, okay. So they can directly connect it with you via the website, right?
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
Perfect, perfect. So, dear listeners, what I'll do, I'll put the link into the show notes for your easy reference so that you can easily reach out to her. And so, until next time, keep nurturing your curiosity, loving your people deeply, and giving yourself the same grace that give everyone else. So, this is your host, Avik, signing off. Thank you so much.
Thank you.